But I've got 4 short topics that I wish to go to. We've all seen this kind of thing from the FTA. Can we just have one day when no one mentions AI? Well, it's certainly not today. I'm going to touch on, in these few minutes, fundamental business strategy and AI, market reality check through a QuickBooks survey, optimum mix for your workforce, and the death of apps, including Excel. So here we go. Fundamental business strategy. If we start talking about your business and AI, in our opinion, and this is what we always do, is we say, have you got a strategy document? Do you have a plan? Else, let's create one. Because your AI strategy needs to be informed by your overall business mission. There's no question. It's not technology for technology's sake or solutions looking for a problem. Clearly, competitors out there adopting the new tech, we have to make that assumption, and they're gaining market share. Or the alternative and substitute products. We've seen one example, especially from the fintechs. Fintechs are eating the lunch of banks, of accountants, of lawyers, of all sorts of different categories of businesses. So through that comparative analysis, one needs to pinpoint what piece of this technology pie do you need to prioritize. Our clients, your clients, are automating, they're putting in AI, and I think they're demanding that their consultants and firms and professional providers keep up with them. And of course, accounting practices are not immune to change. There's no inalienable right of accounting practices to exist as businesses. And technology is moving them fast down that pathway. So the answers to the basic questions we all learned in probably strategy 101. What business are we really in? What value do we really create? And I'll just put one of my little, hopefully, nuggets. Do go back. It's probably a 34-year-old book by Tom Peters and his partner, In Search of Excellence, basically how America turned itself around in dire straits. So, quick reality check. QuickBooks, I discovered, did a survey of about 700 accountants, a third of them more or less in practice, 2/3 therefore in other roles recently in the States. Here are some of the highlights. On the right-hand side of the screen, on some of my screens, there are references. Please feel free to dive in. The highlights, though, 93% of the respondents have used AI to support their strategic business advisory roles already. And layer on top of that accountants are planning to spend an average of $20,000 in tech this year. Of those, however, only 28% say that their firm's training programs fully equip employees with the technology skills that they need to succeed. Big gap, big vacuum, big potential competitive advantage if you can fix that. Unsurprisingly, then, 1810 accountants report difficulty hiring the kind of skilled professionals that they want for their firm. Astonishingly, 98% of the respondents say that they deploy standardized technology stacks, so particular forms of technology which come with major advantages. Great, but crazy that 6 in 10 of them agree that if their clients push back on having to conform to those technology stacks, they will now rather fire the client than change their technology. Very interesting. So in summary, this whole fascinating recent survey said this technological transformation requires overcoming integration challenges, tackling the talent gap, and staying ahead of client expectations. I think we've heard a lot of that already today. What is your optimum workforce mix? We've heard some echoes of that question. Well, I adopted a zero-based budget style to try to unpack this question. And what I mean by that is, let's first identify the outcomes, the services, the value add that your firm is intending to deliver. Then reverse engineer it and say, what is the bare bones needed to deliver and create those outcomes? And how is that done? Whatever's most important to you, the cheapest, fastest, highest quality, whatever, to do so. Having got to that point, we can then say, right, which of all of those range of skills and activities can we apply the digital stack, automation, AI, IT generally, to perform those tasks? And then the balance really is for humans. And almost by definition, those will be the kind of things that I think Nicola in part mentioned a moment ago: negotiations, decision-making skills, contractual skills, the leadership skills. Those will be where most of the humans end up. The rest can be done by these kind of machines. Of course, not today or tomorrow. If one's got a plan and you see this is a 3-year, 5-year, you move your firm in that direction. So I think that's how it's going to be done. There's been a lot written about this. This is a Price Waterhouse article from December 2017, PwC in the Netherlands, Human Value in the Digital Age. Lots to learn and to read, lots of probing business questions in the HR side. Finally, though, fascinating, and earlier on, we did have reference to this subject, that Chief Executive of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, last December spoke of the demise of his very own Excel, Word, and apps generally in the generic sense. Why did he say that? Well, sorry, we don't have time to listen to that, I'm afraid. If there's only one thing, especially for the non-technical folk on this conference, that you take away, it's this single slide. And I'll try and unpack that somewhat. What we see is the overall processing landscape. And I think Chris was talking about this in his fascinating airlines application. We've got the data layer. And here, I don't mean it technically, I mean the data of your firm, your clients, the data that's out there online, publicly available, all the data that's you can get hold of. Then there's the conversational layer, which is the question that I think Chris was posing. I need to do this kind of analysis. That case, are we up with Sarbanes-Oxley or whatever it may be, whatever the task is, that gets converted, pushed into the AI processing layer, understands the requirements, knows what is the relevant data, processes it, packs it into the outcome. Hey, presto, that's it. If you want it as a PDF or a graph or a movie or whatever it is, it's done for you. So just recapping, data lake overview, the conversational hour allowing users to effortlessly communicate their needs. The connection, the AI processing has taken place, and the outcome is delivered. Here's another snapshot of the same kind of process, because it's so fundamental. And Nadella was saying that basically that is why he perceives all of the AI technologies conceptually. I'm not for a minute knocking the sophistication, the breadth, the depth, and all this, conceptually being dumbed down to these primary elements.